Before we show a clip from Calley Means, let's talk about Calley Means. Calley Means is the brother of Casey Means. Casey Means is now our nominee for Surgeon General. The other woman, Janet Neshawat, has been turfed. She's going to take some random job within HHS. My information is it was an RFKJ move all the way. He didn't know or want Janet Neshawat. He knew and wanted Casey Means. That makes perfect sense to me because Casey's integral to the whole MAHA movement. And with all due respect to Janet, she wasn't. She's not really even a part of it. So, of course, he would want one of his, main gurus, lieutenants, I think she's both to him, right at the helm of his own messaging on health. But, my God, this is the MAHA people they love drama. They're very dramatic, Link. Yeah, I love them, but this is a lot of drama over the Surgeon General pick. Okay, I love Casey, but we're treating this like it's the National Security Advisor or the Secretary of State. Okay, so what the hell is happening? Give us your 30,000-foot view. You worked for RFKJ, so you know this world and these people very well. On what's happening here?
I know way too much. One thing about me is I am known for having no drama, not in a Switzerland way. I never bring drama online. I'm very diplomatic. It's why people in politics know they can trust me. I have seen some things I will never say. I can say with unequivocal certainty, I support Casey Means as Surgeon General, and I would request that anybody who is contesting Casey, can you name any other Surgeon General, right? All these people online who are upset, is Surgeon General some big role that we have followed? No, the fact that we're even talking about it now is a huge win. And I don't say this because I sat down with Calley Means. We taped our interview last week before all of this, but Casey and Calley are some of the most effective surrogates for the MAHA movement, right? They have been talking about ultra-processed foods and food dyes and getting chemicals out of our water for years, far before it was popular in the mainstream. And so I think a lot of these MAHA folks need to remember a year ago, you couldn't even get the mainstream media to cover these issues. So the fact that they're talking about them now, look how far we've come. And also there's this narrative that Casey and Calley Means they must be Manchurian candidates because they're so skilled on air. They're just so talented and polished. That's who you want in the Trump administration. Howard Lutnick said during the transition when they were nominating people, they would put clips of Scott Bessent up on the screen, Pam Bondi speaking, and that's how they would decide who to put in the cabinet. They wanted folks who could be effective surrogates, so wouldn't you put Casey in that role? The next thing I'll say is this. From a political calculus standpoint, I think Casey is a genius move. I know Trump is already thinking about the midterms. He's doing tons of MAGA Inc. fundraisers. He's gone to Virginia several times to do fundraisers. Everybody's thinking about the midterms and what could happen. We have Bobby in there, who's a huge MAHA voice. But to grow the MAHA MAGA coalition, elevating a strong woman's voice like Casey, who's effective on air and on camera, is such a smart move moving forward. And that's why I support it.
Totally. I agree with you on all fronts. But man, oh man, are they trying to take her down. It is the weirdest collective hit. Now, listen, without casting these aspersions on any individual, I will say there's no question in my mind that Big Pharma doesn't want her and Big Ag probably doesn't want her. And so she's going to have some very powerful enemies. And we saw this, again, I'm not talking about any individual person, but I guarantee you some collection of the attacks on her that we're seeing on X are bought and paid for. Because we saw this. Remember when they were pushing to not have SNAP benefits include the ability to buy Coca-Cola, and then it came out that some of these people who are going to be hurt by these revisions were trying to pay, the lobbyists for these groups were trying to pay random influencers to be like, oh, this is big daddy legislation, conservatives, to try to speak to conservatives to try to turn the MAGA group against this reform. And there's no question they're not going to lie down and let somebody like Casey Means become the messenger. They already have to deal with RFKJ. They're pissed off enough about that.
Right.
So these are very deep-pocketed people, and I'm sure there's some online right now who are being paid by them. I'd love to find out for sure. And then there are others who have legitimate, honest, questions about Casey, and that's fine. That's politics. Hello. But here's an example of some of the stuff we're hearing. So Calley Means versus Nicole Shanahan. We didn't get to this yesterday. Nicole Shanahan, RFKJ's running mate, can't stand Calley and Casey. I didn't know this, but she came out. I don't have the tweet in front of me, but man, did she lay into them. She called them Manchurian assets. and said, I was promised that if I supported RFKJ in his Senate confirmation for the HHS role, that these two wouldn't come anywhere near HHS or government. So did Bobby lie to me or what? Because they, to me, are so weird and aggressive. This is Nicole Shanahan, that they seem like Manchurian assets. Now, Brett Baer asked Bobby Kennedy about that. He had like a health panel of the top health officials last night. And here's what happened.
She was the very top of her medical class at Stanford. She's during her residency, she won every award that she could win. She walked away from traditional medicine because she was not curing patients. She couldn't get anybody within her profession to look at the nutrition contributions to illness. And she said, if we're really going to heal people, if we're healers, we can't just be making our life about building new procedures. We actually have to figure out new approaches to medicine.
Your former running mate weighed in today saying that she wasn't happy about this and said that you're somehow being controlled. Your decisions are being controlled. That's what she posted.
Listen, you guys sitting here, 4 people who were all canceled during COVID.
Yeah, that's right.
Of these people are, you've got the entire leadership of this agency is renegades who are juggernauts against convention and who are trying to look for truth no matter what the cost.
So nobody's controlling your
Casey
decision.
is among those.
So it's interesting. He didn't take on, is somebody controlling me? But he's basically saying everybody up here is a renegade and kind of uncontrollable. For the record, he was with Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, who was canceled during COVID, Dr. Marty Makary of Johns Hopkins, who now runs FDA, and Dr. Mehmet Oz, who's going to be overseeing Medicare, and of course, RFKJ. Go ahead, Link, your thoughts.
Well, I can tell you he certainly cannot be bought or controlled. Bobby would probably be much wealthier if he could be. And as for Nicole Shanahan, I'm going to say something that I know she would agree with, Bobby would agree with. They keep saying Bobby's running mate says this. RFK's running mate, Nicole Shanahan, says this. This isn't a Trump-Vance situation where they were out campaigning together and making tons of decisions together. Besides our March 26th announcement in Oakland at the Henry J. Kaiser Center, which several of us helped to plan, I think Bobby and Nicole were in the same room together twice. I think they saw each other again in person 2 times, maybe. So these journalists who are writing like Nicole is some close advisor and ally of Bobby who's turned around and shanked him, that's just not the case. Bobby's career went on. He got the nomination to HHS. He's been killing it at HHS and accomplishing more in the first 100 days than I think any of us ever expected. So this narrative that, his close ally and friend in Nicole has turned on him is just anathema to reality. Okay,
but she doesn't seem to be in his camp anymore. I mean, that tweet, my team just sent it to me. She writes, this is what she wrote when the Casey Means news broke late on 5/7, so 2 days ago. This doesn't make any sense. I was promised that if I supported him in his Senate confirmation, neither of these siblings would be working under HHS or in an appointment, and that people much more qualified would be. I don't know if RFK very clearly lied to me or what's going on. It's been clear in recent conversations that he is reporting to someone regularly who is controlling his decisions, and it isn't President Trump. Then she says the part about the siblings being artificial and aggressive and Manchurian. So she's turned on him. There's no question in my mind reading that tweet. There's no love lost between these two.
My point I'm making is that it's not a turn on him situation. I don't think they were super simpatico 12 months ago. That's the point I'm trying to make. It's not, they're painting this narrative that, his close ally, they've turned on each other. This is the MAHA civil war. She's been doing her own thing since kind of the start of the campaign when she joined us in Oakland. Like I said, they only appeared together, I believe, twice for events. So Bobby's been doing his own thing. And like I said, he's the one with the pedigree. He is the face of MAHA. He's the head of MAHA. Casey and Calley have been instrumental to MAHA. Like I said, they were MAHA before that was even coined as a term. And I'm not knocking Nicole whatsoever, but it is convenient that she has a new contract with The Blaze and her new show she's promoting. And now she's generating tons of media and press off of this when she kind of hasn't had anything to do with HHS since January 20th at the inauguration.
Here she is, speaking of her show on The Blaze. She gave an interview to Glenn Beck yesterday following up on this tweet, and here's what she said.
MAHA has, any movement. MAGA had this issue too, of infiltration by different groups that are more self-serving than they are for the movement itself. And so just one example, Casey Means is a founder of a company that does biometric harvesting. She's very close with many of the big data biometric harvesting companies in Silicon Valley. And this, I know several of these people. You do not want them running in a government position that is responsible for everybody equally. Our job is to continue to seek the best possible people for government that are truly putting the principles of this country first, the principles of American sovereignty first.
Thoughts on that?
So I want to tell you what I told Nicole last year. Nicole ended up buying a house 5 minutes from me, 5 minutes from where I sit right now. We went to dinner a few times. We've hung out a few times. She was very open about her miscarriage. I remember being at the house and her telling me she was pregnant with her partner, Jacob. It was a beautiful moment. But for Nicole, I told her last year, if you are passionate about staffing or certain people you want in the administration, call Trump's scheduler and set up a lunch or a meeting. Fly to Mar-a-Lago and go have dinner with him on the patio and say, here are some names I think you should consider. Even right now, if she's upset, it's fine that she's at home tweeting. I'm happy she has a strong Wi-Fi connection. Set up a dinner. Trump will meet with you. President Trump is the most accessible president. He wants to hear from a wide range of people and make decisions that way. So if Nicole is so passionate and worried about these things, sitting at home tweeting isn't going to change it. Hop on a flight. I told her that last year, last fall. Go talk to President Trump. Go talk to Susie Wiles. Go talk to Sergio Gore, who's in charge of personnel. But it's easy to sit at home and tweet. It's a lot harder to get in the arena and actually make change. It's easier to sit at home and write checks than to get in there and do it. I have not seen her get on a plane and go see President Trump, and it's now been 12 months. So I thought it was good advice.
I mean, I think
he would so meet with her.
He
would so meet with her. I told her that during the nominations. I said, if you want to be part of this administration, the train's moving along without you. You probably aren't going to be part of it if you don't go. Set up lunch at Mar-a-Lago, go meet with them. Every other business leader and wealthy person was flying to Mar-a-Lago after November 5th. Heads of state were flying to Mar-a-Lago. I know people might not remember. Zuckerberg was flying to Mar-a-Lago. I told Nicole, the train's gonna leave you behind. Hop on a plane. Hop on a plane and go see the guy and plead your case of who you want. That has yet to happen.
This July, there is a global summit of BRICS nations in Rio de Janeiro. The bloc of emerging superpowers, including China, Russia, India, and Iran, are meeting with the goal of displacing the U.S. dollar as the global currency. They're calling this the Rio Reset as BRICS nations push forward with their plans. Some worry global demand for U.S. dollars will decrease, bringing down the value of the dollars in your savings. While this transition won't happen overnight, the Rio Reset could mark a pivotal moment. So learn if diversifying your savings into gold is right for you. Birch Gold Group can help you move your hard-earned savings into a tax-sheltered IRA in precious metals. Claim your free info kit on gold by texting MK to the number 989898. With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold arm you with a free, no-obligation info kit on owning gold before July and the Rio Reset. Text MK to 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.